Hello, subscribers. How are you? I'm just doing a series of traits on narcissism and the Christian. Um, Basically inspired to do so. They're not going to be frequent, I don't think. I'm just going to do them as and when I'm inspired to, or, sometimes you read something and it kind of prompts um, a response. So today I read one of the responses from my subscribers, and I remember her saying, I think it was a her, how um, a narcissist came into their life pretending that they were a Christian. And I kind of took from that, I wonder if narcissists who are Christian know that they're narcissists. That's what I was wondering. Because if you think about Christians, they have this air, some of them, they're supposed to be humble, but a lot of them have this air of superiority that they are better than other people and very, very judgmental. I remember I used to go to one of these, I forgot what you call them now, Pentecostal churches. And they looked down on people who wore earrings or makeup or certain dresses, certain types of clothes. Very, very judgmental. And I was thinking that, sometimes their attitude is very narcissistic. You know, I claim this in the name of the Lord, and they expect to get it. And their attitude around people is one of entitlement. I'm not talking about Christians, I'm talking about certain ones, but I'm just wondering if they realize how narcissistic they can come over. So that's why I decided to do this video. And I put down here, that's another thing, when they are, when they meet you, some of them. Now, like if a male um, Christian who happens to be a narcissist meets a female, how do you think he's going to approach that female? He's not going to say, hello, how are you? Um, well, maybe he will. How long have you been coming to the church? Normally they say, me wake up this morning and God said to me, I am going to meet a lady and she is going to be in the church and she has one child and she is divorced and it is for me to go and take her up and help that woman. I was sent to help that woman, God told me. And here I am. I'm talking to you. You are the woman. And the woman, of course, if she's single, is likely to say, boy, you know, God sent him to me. That time she's been praying for somebody and saying, please, God, send me a nice man in the church. And that's a thing. Well, I think people are catching on now that a lot of men go into church to look for good women, clean women. A lot of them do that. Them don't know, so people in the church mash up and they're just as dirty as people outside the church, some of them. Just because a lot of people who go to church go there because they've had so much heartache, so much disappointment, so much abuse, so much betrayal that they've decided to turn to the Lord. So it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody, whether male or female, who goes into the church is a nice person. They could be very, very damaged. And they could go into that church with certain attitudes and behaviors. They're just like anybody else who's outside the church. The only difference is that they've repented, and they've decided to give themselves to God and they want to change their ways. But you can't change your ways overnight. It's a process that happens. And if you've met somebody in the church who's just come out of one relationship or, and they've come into the church and they're now looking for you. You have to be very, very wary. You know, I forget what they call that um, when they jump for a relationship after a breakup. But I forget what it's called. Anyway, so sometimes if you've got somebody who's saying to you, look, God sent me to you, and they do have narcissistic traits, it could be a form of manipulation. And you need to be aware of it. Christians need to go into things with their eyes open, not because they call the name of the Lord means that they are of God. And like God said, not everybody who calls my name. So, a lot of people, they get fooled by that. They get fooled by people who carry a Bible, them have their thing tied up, some of the women, them tied up. You're better off looking at some of those women who have their short skirts in the church. At least they're showing you who they are. But you have some people, they look smart and they look holier than thou and they look clean cut. And them have them Bible and them, yes, Lord. Yes, Father. Yes, Jesus. And they're the biggest hypocrite and criminals. And they haven't changed their heart. They're in the church, but they haven't changed their heart. They haven't had the patience to take into consideration their past behavior. They carry it into the church. They want somebody nice. That is their main focus. I just want to find somebody nice. They don't have to know about me yet. They don't have to know about my past yet. They don't have to know, sir, me knee high in debt yet. Everything in due time. So they come with them nice, clean suit, look very dashing. The women come in their prim clothes. You don't know what they're carrying into the church. And they come in with their narcissistic behavior, expecting, feeling entitled. Because they have now given themselves to the Lord, they now feel superior. And they now feel as though whoever they meet, God has ordained them. So, you'll find these same people, God forbid, if you rebuke them and you tell them, say, you know what, and you see a different attitude, they become threatening. And some of them have the audacity to say, you don't want to see the bad side of me. I can be humble, I can be nice. You don't want to see the bad side of me. What's that supposed to mean? Is that a trait of a Christian? Watch out. Watch all the little signs. Be alert. Be discerning. Guilt tripping. Some of them, they come into the church. They start saying, oh, can I give you a lift to the church? And you don't drive in. So you're glad for the lift, especially if it's a bit awkward. Or it might be cold or it might be raining. So you take the lift and you're saying, oh, what a lovely man. I'm female. I talk mostly about men. I know it can go both ways. Oh, I've met this lovely man every Sunday morning. He pick me up and take me to church. Every Sunday morning. He's never late. I have to go give him some dinner when him drop me off. That's when it starts, because you've already started feeling guilty because he's starting to give you a lift to church every day. So you start feeling guilty. And he might even say, even before you feel guilty, he might even say, oh, make a little joke. Oh, me can't tell when last me get a home cooked meal, long me dip on my own. Can't tell when last. This is what they do, though. This is what they do. Them tell you about them. Them can't tell when last them get a cook food because they've been on their own so long. Them not having a woman for so long. Next thing you know, you feel guilty because them are carried to church every week. Oh, um, if you come one Sunday, you me will cook you a meal. Huh. That's all he wants. Just wants to get his foot through that door. And you stuck. Because when they get that foot through the door and them see what you have, eyes light up. Hmm? Look around. Hmm? And she don't have no man, you know. And she's a woman of God. So she must want a man. And so it starts from there. He knows, starts asking questions. He ends up knowing what her needs are because she's most likely to tell him. I bet you, she'll say, why, you know how long me not have a man? You know how long I've been praying to the Lord for a man. And look how the Lord just sent me a man. That's what they do, you know. They give all them secret. And me wanna bring up me child. And me have this job. Me can do this and me can do that. And me have a little save. Tell the man the whole bloody life story. And that time his ears cocking up, boy. I've hit the bloody jackpot. She desperate for your man. Then him say, yes, me dear. Me know, say, the Lord was going to send me someone. Me know. As me get up this morning, me know, say, the Lord was going to send me to someone. And look, him send me to you. From that conversation takes place, for the female, her guards have gone down. This is the man the Lord has ordained for her. Doesn't know if he's narcissistic or he's not. He doesn't know she's narcissistic. All they know is that this has happened. So I'm entitled to be treated like the child of God that I am. And that is the attitude. Because many Christians, because they're child of God, they feel entitled. And because they feel entitled, they believe that whoever comes into their life has been given to them. And so they just take them. They don't even question it. I'm not quite sure if that's correct. It came into my head as a thought, but I'm not quite sure if that's correct because the person who is being taken in is not the person who feels entitled, although, no, it's not the person who's feeling entitled. It's actually the person who is kind of like the predator, who is the person who feels entitled to get the person that he or she wants. So they will start saying, my spirit or the Spirit of God told me this, that, the other, whatever it is they need to say, because they're dealing with Christians, they know what to say. And if they're smart, they probably been in the church. They could have been in the church for a while. They pick up a few little scriptures. They might even just highlight a few little scriptures and memorize them. Them devious, you know. That's why them say you have some devil in the church. And I remember with my mum, and I remember she used to be in the church choir in Jamaica. And she was saying that my father, he used to come to the church and him sweet talker and sweet talker and sweet talker. And he was so handsome and fair, you know, them red man and blah, blah, blah. Break her down, break down all her defenses. Them knew what to say. Me I gonna marry you. What them say? Me I gonna marry you. They know what to say. Boof. I am the result. It's not easy, peeps. It's not easy when you're a Christian. Um, they reckon that Christians are the ones who are persecuted, the ones who are hard done by, because sometimes it's not that we're gullible. It's that we're trusting, I think, overly trusting, and we don't ask enough questions. We don't use discernment. We don't use, we're not skeptical. And when people say what we want to hear, we let our guard down. And that's what happens. And that's what you can't allow to happen. So, narcissists, they lack flexibility. It's their way or the highway. So, sorry. So, an example of this could be um, they've been picking you up, taking you to church, and you say to them, um, "Oh, look, I'm not leaving from home this week. I'm going to my friend. Um, can you pick me up from there?" They could say, "Oh, look, no, not that they're not left picking you up. Time to drop you home now." And you say, "Oh, I'm not going straight home. I'm going, to stay with a sister." And they might say, "Look, I'm not going that way," or they might just be very obstructive with that, not flexible. If if his or we'll talk about his intention is to get into a routine of dropping you home, their way of getting their foot through the door. So, if you say you're going to a friend, he might say, "Oh, look, I'm not, that's out of my way. Um, I'm sorry, I can't drop you." But he would say that under the just because he doesn't want to be, if that man cares about you, it doesn't matter whether it's your home or somebody else's home. If he cares about you, he would say, "Okay, it's okay for me to drop you home, even if it was out of the way." So it's telling if, because you're not going home or he can't drop you home, he decides that he can't give you a lift. You have to ask yourself the question. Hmm. You can say to yourself, "Well, maybe it is out of his way." You can say, "But aren't you worth going out of somebody's, or aren't you worth it? Shouldn't somebody go out of their way for you?" Or is that seen as an expectation? Or is that a narcissistic trait to expect somebody to go out? I don't think so. I think if somebody cares for you, and or as they claim to care for you, if they what is it if they go out of their way? I'm watching this couple. Now there's a lot of profanities in it, but that's not why I'm watching it. I'm watching it because I'm watching how that couple interacts. And that man, no matter where she is, she's just got to make that call. And he says, "Okay, I'll be there." It's only one time he questioned her when she said she was at the hospital. And he said, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" But apart from that, she can tell him wherever she is and they live in Jamaica. She can tell him wherever she is, and he has never ever, in all of the videos I've seen, said, "Oh, I can't make it. I can't be there," or "It's out of my way," or "I'm not going that way." Never. So it's interesting that, to me, those two depict so much love, and yet they still set boundaries. They have their values. And it is so interesting when you look at that couple, how relationships can be. And people might think that because they curse a lot, that it's an unhealthy relationship. But if you look beneath it, the loyalty and the love and the flexibility involved in that relationship, you'll know that that is a healthy relationship. The profanities, that's just because it's not our thing. As you know, I won't go into that. You say you said or did something. Yeah, the alarm's. Yes. Sorry about that interruption. But yeah, we're talking about mm, the ways that how you can recognize a Christian who has narcissistic traits. It could be as simple as you saying, I put the collection money in a certain place, and your narcissistic partner is saying, no, you didn't, you put it somewhere else, and you know that you put the collection money in a certain place. You know that, but they'll convince you and convince you that you didn't. And then it's not only if you're 100% sure that they might back down. So it's just little things that they may do that should be able to let you know that the Christian who is coming into your life is a narcissist. Just check their behavior. Check how arrogant they are. Check how overconfident. Sometimes, because we are humble or not so confident, you might believe that somebody who's confident is, that is the way to be. And you might find it charming. But is it consistent with affection? Is it, the thing is, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if a narcissist wants something, they're going to play into who you want. So they're going to know exactly who you want in your life. So you're not going to really know that that narcissist is a narcissist until you've spent time with them. So the key is not rushing into a relationship with a narcissist as a Christian. It is to watch their behavior, monitor their behavior. Don't minimize bad behavior or things that you feel, that's not quite right. That doesn't feel right. You can usually tell um, certain things that are not right, and you can usually tell them from the get go, but you can dismiss them as, oh, that's nothing. And then when you think back, it does have severe consequences, that behavior that they showed. I can't really think of an example, to be honest. So just make sure they're not using God or Jesus to get into your life. Because when they use God, the Word of God, or Jesus, or phrases from the Bible, the implication, or they're implying that they're safe to be with. They're implying that they're nice people. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so how do you know? You can't know. And like I said, if somebody starts going too much into the Bible, unless, you might have a situation where you meet somebody and they want to go to Bible class with you, and they want to come around your house and, go over the Bible scriptures and, have something to eat, and it's reciprocal and it's pleasant. It's not those people you need to be wary of. It's the people who come over as so nice, so perfect, and who are inconsistent. There's no consistency in their behavior. And you will notice this over time. This is what you need to look for. Okay, this is a good way to check out whether or not the Christian that you're bringing into your life is a narcissist. Look for inconsistencies. Look for a situation where the words and the actions don't match up. That's the only advice I can give you. Don't minimize it when it doesn't. Don't shrug it off. Just take note. I'm not saying you end it there and then. It all depends how serious it is. It all depends how serious the inconsistencies are. But write them down. Every time you notice something that's inconsistent, and see where it takes you. And I think I'm going to stop it there. Bye bye.